What's up, guys? Eric here. Day one of the Midset finale was yesterday. This is a VOD from the first game that I played at Midset finale because, of course, I was playing against all of these incredible people: Setsuko, Dish Soap, Casper Wu, Goobums, Kyun, all in my lobby. Um, Sadly, this is the only VOD that exists of this tournament. There was a fire at the VOD factory, and so this is the only VOD that exists from the tournament. So we'll just go over this game, and we can probably assume that the score that I put down in this game is probably the score that I put down in all the other games, because I mean, you extrapolate based upon the data that you have. That's just how science works. No, but to be real, we had a pretty bad day yesterday. We had a pretty bad day of games. Um, not much to say about it other than that. Yesterday was not our day. I still think I'm a very solid player. I keep saying we, but like honestly, it's me. It's me. Are you guys playing at mid? I don't think so. I still think I'm a very solid player, but I just had an off day of games. It didn't help that I got one singular gold augment start the entire day. We start augment choices here. We have a choice between social distancing and challenger crown here. We already have a great challengers opener here, so I'm just gonna hard commit to the challenger crown. It also gives us Callista pair, which I mean, if we can hit Callista 2, then we are bingus chilling. And I do decide to level here, I believe, yeah, because we do have 4 Challenger if we level. I think this is the correct call, and I slam Hodge here and BT here. And I'm just going to try to play for win streak. I know we might not 5-streak with this board, but we're probably going to save a lot of HP with this board. And, like, look at this fight. This fight versus Casper was incredibly close. So, yeah, we're just going to play a very strong Challenger opener here. Ideally find a Callista 2, and you can basically carry Callista 2 the entire early game because, I mean, honestly, even late game, as we'll see, like, this unit is absolutely insane. She's probably individually the strongest single unit in the entire game. But yeah, for the people who didn't catch yesterday, no spoilers, but spoilers. So if you want to go watch my VOD of the day, go watch it now because I'm about to spoil my performance. I did end up getting eliminated day one. Yeah, it's just a lot of the games did not go my way. Some of them I think I played quite poorly. Other ones, honestly, were just horrible luck. I had one game where I died one round. I went down to -8 HP, and I went 8th that game. 3 other people died that round. There was a -5, a -2, and a 0 HP player. So if I had just saved 8 HP across the course of the game, I could have gone 5th instead of 8th. Or if I had saved 8 HP, I probably could have gone top 4. And like that game was also so like there were so many games that were just so close. And that's what happens when you play at the top level, right? There are these razor thin margins, and if you make one mistake, which I definitely made some mistakes yesterday, then it's really tough. I want to grab this Callista here, but I cannot get it. So I then opt to just go for the Rod here. I'm thinking of potentially like a JG for Kaisa item, because I know I have to play towards challengers this game. So yeah, I'm basically at this point thinking Yasuo plus Kaisa items. And we natural Callista 2 here. We are on a 3-loss streak because of how these fights have gone. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to like not make this Callista 2. I'm just going to make Callista level up here. I'm wondering like, okay, is it stronger actually to get like Rogue in here? And I think about it a good bit, and then I decide no, not really, just because the Zed unit kind of stinks. I would prefer to actually have the frontline from the Irelia, because she's actually like a solid frontline unit. We end up fighting another pretty strong board from T-Lides here, and I realize, wait a second, we're all of us, like, no, I always say all of a sudden, by the way, I don't know, it's a habit of mine. All of a sudden here, though, we are 4 loss, 82 HP, which is pretty healthy because we've killed units each fight, and we have a pretty strong board. So you know what? I'm just going to full open. I know Setsuko is trying to lose streak as well, so I do want to full open here. I am just going to sell out my my Viego here, which is going to guarantee I make 20. And then, we end up fighting Kyun here, but that guarantees us the loss. So we actually get to 5 loss this game with Callista 2, which is kind of insane. But with no attack speed, Callista 2 is not the best. You really want like a Gwinsu or even like an RFC on her to really make her pop. But I mean, look, Setsuko's 5 loss 63 HP. I'm 5 loss 72 HP. So it'll definitely help accelerate my early game. And hopefully from here, I can spike the board and then just push for a huge win streak. Ideally, I would Giga High Roll, get like Yasuo in my shop, and then I could just level for that. Get 6 gold here, another 5, so that means we can make 40, or actually that's another 6, and we get dropped to bow here. I think a good bit about whether I want to slam Gwinsu or not, because it's obviously insane in the moment here. It's really good on Callista. The problem is This item really has no home in challengers outside of on Kalista. It's horrible on Kaisa and obviously like really bad on Yasuo. It almost sounds okay on Kaisa, but she spent so long casting and she already gets so much attack speed from challengers that it's really, really not worth it. The only unit that can actually hold it in this comp is Kalista herself. End up greeting to not slam it here, which I probably should have just slammed it versus Setsuko. I thought maybe there's some world where, like, I don't know, one of Setsuko's units, like, one-shots my front line, but it's just, I'm never losing this fight, so it's alright. I just gave him a slightly better loss. I look at my augments here. Tiny Titans is decent in tournament, but I reroll these two augments and boom, I hit Challenger Heart. And I mean, that's the easiest take of all time. Challenger Heart here gives us 6 Challenger, and it's going to allow us to play for 8 Challenger, even as early as level 7. Ideally, we're gonna play it on level 8, but yeah, we can play 7 Chally, or we can play 8 Chally on level 7 because of Challenger +1, which is insane. I say here, if I fight anyone who's strong at all, I'm just gonna slam the Guinsus, and I do. And now our front line, I don't know why I said front line, our early game is insane. It's just nuts. Kalista too with a Guinsus is just insanely high rolled in this position, and we are going to coast on this board for as long as we can. Just start our win streak here at 3-1 and then keep it as long as we can. But I mean, honestly, looking at this game, full loss streak into potentially full win streak. I don't know when my streak gets broken here. Like I'm kind of a beast, right? I played this game out pretty well. Obviously, it's a definitely like a bit high roll to hit this to hit Challenger Soul or Challenger Crown or whatever into Challenger Heart and then have Guinsu Callista. But you know, sometimes you got to play with the high rolls that Riot Games gives you, and that is absolutely what we were doing this game. Is just I hit something really insane and I'm gonna play for it. Ideally, I would just take the Shen with the Ra, but I cannot end up getting that. I'm just gonna go for Guard Breaker here. It's a solid item. It can just go onto Callista, or I could like greed it later and just put it on like Yasuo even or Kaisa. It's a very solid item on like pretty much every unit in this comp. So yeah, and we natural the Warwick 2 here, so now I know that my board's insane. I also know that I can level up here, go fast 7, I still make 30 gold, and getting the Zed in also gets us Ionia, which is really, really nice. And I think, like, I know Dish Soap's 100 streaking here, like, actually beating him would be a huge deal. I also swapped to the left side for potentially Dish Soap. I don't immediately slam the Guard Breaker here because I would really prefer, like, some kind of crit item onto Callista. I'd really much prefer for this to be, like, a JG Callista and then Guard Breaker like Yasuo. Making the Guard Breaker on Callista means I'm sort of like settling for like mediocre items on her. And obviously that last fight I didn't need to slam the Guard Breaker to win. This next fight though, like if I need to slam it, maybe I should slam Guard Breaker. I don't think I do, even though I think I fight someone quite strong here, which is interesting. But yeah, who do I end up fighting here? I'm watching Dish Soap's board to see how strong he is. Oh yeah, I end up fighting this level 6 board from Kion, and I'm like, I'm never actually gonna lose this fight. It looks a little scary for a sec, but there's no way. Kion, of course, is doing the super degen playstyle of taking Master Yi, taking all of the Master Yi augments, and then just trying to play Aphelios every single game, which, you know, is gross. Honestly, it's probably the dominant strategy on this patch, especially if you are like Kion and you were the only Master Yi player in this lobby. Like, it's actually insane how high roll that is. Like, I was hoping all the Master Yi players would contest each other. But yeah, we get some interesting item drops here. So let's pause it for a second, look at these item drops. It's like, it is 2 tank items if you want. There's also an idea of like Edge of Night, Sunfire Guardbreaker, or Edge of Night like Shroud Warmogs or something. I really want to get crit onto my my Callista here. So I actually opt for a IE Bramble Warmogs slam here. Because I really want to give Callista the ability to crit, and I want to slam everything to keep my streak. Edge of Night's a solid item for Yasuo later, but it doesn't actually do anything right now. Also, because I'm on such a huge streak, I'm just going to opt to go fast 8 here. I know that if I go 8, all I need to find is 1 Yasuo and 1 Kaisa, and I can continue my streak. So I will slam the IE, and then I end up slamming Warmog's Bramble. I think for a sec about slamming it on like Zed, so I can move it to Yasuo later, because these items honestly do fine on Yasuo. But I know it's going to be strongest on set here, and like this is a really, really close fight, so I think maybe slamming those items there was absolutely correct. But yeah, we get Know Your Enemy as one of our augments, and this augment is just broken, so I'm just going to take this. But yeah, I only have 20 gold to roll, but all I need to do is find 1 Yasuo, 1 Kaisa. We also find Heimer, which is insanely high roll. I sell the Ahri because she doesn't actually have a spot here, and then boom, we find Yasuo. We're going to get Heimerdinger in with Challenger Spat. We don't actually have enough gold to find his upgrades right now. We could perhaps roll once, but then I'd have to sell Callista. But we do get Heimerdinger in with Challenger Spout, which is insane, and it's a Challenger. So pretty fortunate rolls. Now we have this Heimer turret that is just pew, 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 shooting at full speed, and we're beating everybody. I make the choice here to actually sell Callista, I believe, and make 10. I think about it for a bit, but I know I know Setsuko is playing potentially like Vertical Shadow Owls because he has like 2 Shadow Owl spats, I think. And so I think the chance of me finding Callista this game is actually like not that high. So I'm just gonna play Callista 2 as my item carry this entire game. But yeah, at some point, I think once I had such a high win streak this game, I decided that like it's just gonna be Callista carry this game. Callista 2 stars my main carry. Also, my music is like kind of loud now. Maybe I'll turn it down a little bit. I mean, it's too late in the video. Like, if it was annoying you, then you would have closed out the video by now. But it's like kind of loud for me. It's just I'm talking enough that like it's drowning it out in my own head. But yeah, I just realized that like because of Winsu, I have to just play around Callista as my main carry. Ideally, I could get like a Shadow Isle spat and then play around play around Shadow Isles, but you know that's not that easy. We do potentially see a spat on Carousel, which I could use to make another Challenger spat, but I've talked about this before, I don't really like taking quote-unquote like naked spats, like a spat where you don't actually have the other component. I know we're going to get the item Anvil later, so like maybe, I mean, that gives me a 50-50 shot of getting the bow I need for Challenger spat, and it would be really nice to get Challenger spat, because then I can cut this Samir for something better, but I just don't think it's worth it. Also, we end up getting Radiance Everdeer by Cambuli, but we still stomp them anyway, like a beast, so it's fine. But yeah, and the cloak is not even bad. It can be Declaw if there's a lot of AP in the lobby. It can also be QSS for Yasuo, which is pretty solid. So yeah, I don't even like necessarily dislike the cloak here. It's like pretty good. I decided to not roll in this situation. Okay, so this is actually really interesting, this phase of the game, because I'm sitting on Kaisa 1, Shen pair, and Yasuo 1 on my board here. And I opt to play this phase of the game pretty safely. I roll a lot, stage 5, trying to find my upgrades. And I know Dish Soap is contesting me. Dish Soap, I think, has 2-star Kaisa and maybe some other stuff. Also, you see there, I was like hovering over Kyun. I really need Kyun to die this game. He's 3 HP, but he's pumping up, scaling up, scaling up, scaling up. And he has like basically the entire Azir Lux board 2-star. So like if we can just stop Kyun, like we will absolutely be chilling. Items wise here, they end up a bit awkward here, and also like for the hindsight Andes, if I had taken Spat, my options would have been horrible. I never found a bow here, so I would be playing down a component, which is awful, awful, awful. So I think about some different options. Like you could go Ionic, but we already have the Shred from Turret, so I don't really care for that. You could go like Archangel's QSS maybe. That actually doesn't sound terrible. I opt for JG plus Q-Cone. Q-Cone is going to go here, make Set instacast, and then eventually it's going to make Shen instacast. You could maybe convince me that Archangel's QSS, after looking back at it, was better. That actually sounds kind of good, giving Kaisa the AP. Like, JG without any AP is not ideal. Maybe it was Archangel's QSS. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. There's like Declaw Archangels and other stuff like that. Let me know what you guys think about this item pick, because it's actually very interesting. I think in hindsight, maybe Archangel's QSS is best. But I don't know. I love a JG. So I'm going to roll a bit here. I know I have to roll in this situation, right? I need to find my 3rd Heimerdinger upgrade. I have Yasuo 1, I have Kaisa 1, and I have Shen 1. I need to roll here to make this board stable. You think because I'm 10 streak, 73 HP, that like maybe my board's stable and maybe I can just go fast 9, but I'm going to get 10-0'd in these fights if I sit on Yasuo 1, Kaisa 1. So I roll a bit here, I find Yasuo, and then I find Yasuo 2, and I find Set 2. Now, here is the question. Do you stop rolling at this point? Because I don't. Obviously, like, I'm out of gold now, so I should, like, I can't roll anymore this round. But I'm saying, okay, I have Shen pair and I have Kaisa pair. I need to hit one of those, and they're both actually huge upgrades on this board here. I think in hindsight, it's probably incorrect because I have Set 2 here. Once I found Set 2, I can probably stop rolling and then just go 9. Kyun ends up winning a fight, and I'm just like, please, please, people, finish off Kyun. But yeah, I think I maybe underestimated the strength of the board with this Set 2. I really just want to find Kaisa 2 and Shen 2, and then I'll be done. And like the idea is because I have both pairs that I can roll for here, I should keep rolling. But I think in hindsight, this was a mistake. I mean, maybe it's only hindsight a mistake because I didn't hit. You know, if I had rolled twice there and hit Kaisa 2, then like obviously it would have seemed like a genius mode thing. But like I beat Setsuko's board, who's like insanely strong, and Kyun dies here, which is why you see me clapping there. It's also that the Kaisa is completely uncontested. So I don't know. I still like I don't know. I feel like it's pretty reasonable to roll in this situation, but I think with my HP and the fact that I have set to carrying these items, who's not that much worse than Shen 2, I probably should just greet it out, especially after seeing how all of these fights go, where, like, I fight Goobums, who has, like, a decently strong board on 7, but I just completely stomp him. I stomped Setsuko. Like, I probably should have just greeted and gone fast 9 in this situation. These are the plays, by the way, that, like, separate the gamers from the pro gamers, like these are the small things that you can do that will give yourself a huge edge. I go for Edge of Night here, but I don't end up getting it, so I just take QSS as a second option here. Obviously, Edge of Night would have been great, but I'm pretty sure Dish Soap nabbed it. Once I hit the Shen here, I say, okay, now I'm definitely done rolling, and now I can go 9. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I rolled like maybe 10 times to find that Shen or something. Shen 2 is a decent upgrade here. I would have preferred finding Kai'Sa's the upgrade, because, like, Set is fine. Shen is really, really solid, though. So yeah, I don't know. I can't say for sure that it was a mistake, but I don't know. I'd be curious to see what some other players, like really good players, think. Because, like, honestly, this fight versus Dish Soap, like, was that a Shen 2 diff? Maybe not. So I probably would have won all these fights without Shen 2. And at this point, like, there's no way I'm going to roll for just Kai'Sa. I'm definitely going to go 9. Honestly, I thought I rolled for longer, but I rolled for like 3 rounds or something and found Shen. It's not that gross of a play, but I don't know. It's actually very interesting, like, to think about here. It's hard to tell what the correct play is, and that's TFT for you. We get a Heimerdinger Zephyr here, but at least my Callista doesn't get Jarvan ulted. So this fight, I literally look away and I think this fight's gonna be a win, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I lost to Casper, but I realize he's 8 Sork, and he just ended up one-shotting my board, which really stinks because I would have kept my 5 streak through minions here, and this would have, like, guaranteed an easy fast 9. But the games can't always be easy, sadly. So we lose that fight, and that is life. That is Mort Dog saying, okay, we can't make the game too easy for you. Oh, the also really nice thing about this setup with Know Your Enemy is that I have Heimerdinger in. We get our items here. I think I end up going for Guardbreaker here. I think if there was a lot of AP, I would go for Declaw. I also don't actually know if Guardbreaker or Deathblade is better on this Yasuo. I go for Guardbreaker thinking I'm gonna put it on Yasuo, but then I'm like, wait, I have a GG on Kai'Sa. I should probably just Guardbreaker her, which I think makes the most sense. But I don't know. Maybe it's just Deathblade. It's probably Deathblade Yasuo just to finish a third item on a unit, because now I have 2 items on both, which is a little bit weaker than, like, finishing a third item on Yasuo. I don't know. The Guardbreaker is good, though. But yeah, it's probably just Deathblade Yasuo. I was, like, taking Guardbreaker for Yasuo, but then I realized that I had JG on Kai'Sa, which, I don't know. Kind of trolling there a bit. Getting the third item. I've talked about this before, but, like, items scale off of each other in TFT, so getting a third item is really, really high value. So, yeah. We are into the top 4. Setsuko's board. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to beat Setsuko, but my Shen ended up just, like, walking into the corner and going into Narnia and not tanking for anyone there. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I can beat Setsuko. We fight T-Lides here, who is one of the strongest people in the lobby, and we end up beating him. Dish Soap ends up going down, and I'm like, okay, this is fine. We're probably going to go 9 next round. Hopefully we can find, like, a Senna to add to the board. Best case scenario, we get, like, a Challenger spat off Carousel, but that's probably too high roll for that to happen. But yeah, we're mostly just trying to spread here so we don't get AoE'd. I move my Yasuo down here, try to dodge Shroud. I wanted to make sure that like 2 key units couldn't get shrouded, but I ended up messing up and letting my Kai'Sa get shrouded here. So yeah, this is a really close fight actually. Like, if Kai'Sa gets her cast off there, we probably win it. So I'm pretty sure that might even be a shroud diff. But yeah, no Challenger spat here. I do see Death Cap here, which I think actually is really, really good. Kai'Sa really needs AP because she doesn't get it from any other source. I think a lot of people, myself included, prior to looking at the stats, didn't have like something like a Death Cap as that high priority on Kai'Sa, but I think it's actually, like, insane. We also find the Senna here, so I'm just going to make 10, and we're fighting T-Lides here. I just need to make sure that my carries don't all get Jarvan ulted. Like, I see this setup, and I'm like, okay, there is a disaster scenario here where Jarvan ults, like, this clump right here and just CCs my entire board, and wouldn't you know it, it happens. Kai'Sa gets CC'd by that into Scion CC, so she casts for the first time, like, 10 seconds into the fight, and I get, like, absolutely stomped in that fight. So, yeah, like, I don't know what to say. Oh, yeah. I realized, though, that, like, that fight is just, like, straight up, like, positioning diff. Like, if I just play like a normal person, and, like, spread my units out, I will be fine. So I move my units all around. I move my Yasuo up here so that he's gonna be, like, not so clumped up, but honestly is QSS, so it doesn't really matter. We end up, I believe, losing this fight as well, but it's actually like oh no, we end up winning this fight with Heimerdinger ult. So I say, okay, we got one more fight to go. This is going to be the final fight, no matter what. If I win it, T-Lides is dead. If he wins it, I am dead. And I get an idea. I get an idea. You see me hovering my Kai'Sa over there. I say, you know what? There's no reason to actually backline this Kai'Sa and allow her to get Jarvan ulted. I should just put her second row away from a sort of clump. Items-wise here, I just end up taking a Warmogs for Yasuo. I just want him to be able to live longer. We roll down here, try to find a Senna 2. I don't think we end up hitting it. Yeah, we don't. We just Warmogs or Yasuo, and then I say, okay, I need to make sure we're as little clumped as possible. I'm going to put my clump of 3 frontliners and my Samira over here on the left, try to attract a Jarvan ult, and then I'm going to move Kai'Sa up here. She's only in a clump of 2, so it's very unlikely she's going to get Jarvan ulted. Boom, Jarvan ults here. So Kai'Sa gets to dodge the cast. She does get Sion ulted, but by allowing her to dodge any CC, and then that second Jarvan ult doesn't do anything, we win the fight, and it is a dub. So the first game of mid-set finale, we end up winning. As I said, no need to look at any other games besides this one. This is the only game that really matters. It was very fun, very enjoyable, and yeah, can't wait to play in another tournament. In all serious though, this was my last tournament of the set. This is my last tourney of 9.0. But PBE 9.5 comes out on Wednesday. I know, it's so crazy. So we're going to be grinding PBE. The next cup is in a month, the Noxus Cup, so I'm going to be grinding for that, trying to qualify for that, and play in that and do my best. So this is not the end of my competitive career, even though it's the end of set 9.0. It is just the beginning of it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitch and all my other links, my Discord, PayPal if you want to send me a few bucks, all down below. Thank you, thank you.